Dhavle madam, Alim Siddiqui sir, Nagapurkar sir, and we should start the session now.
या सॅम मला दडपण आलं एवढे सिनियर लोक आहेत.
Yes. Yes. So, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Maithili Umate, Associate Professor, Department of Psychiatry, Grand Government Medical College. I am the moderator and the convener of Doctor Wellness Subcommittee. I wish to introduce our chairperson, Dr. Smita Panse, Associate Professor and of YCM, and she's also the chairperson of our committee. I would also like to add here that as the session goes on, I would request everyone, whoever has any questions, can please enter in the chat box, which will be taken at the end of the session. Now, coming back to Dr. Panse, I request her to introduce the chairperson and go ahead with the welcome address. Over to you, Dr. Smita.
Yes, thank you, Maithili. Good evening to all. I am Dr. Smita Panse from Pune. Hi to everyone. And I welcome you all on behalf of Psychiatric Society of West Zone Doctors Wellness Subcommittee for this first quarterly session on work-life balance and dealing with burnout. So we have actually planned quarterly sessions in March, June, and September. So those will be mostly related to relationship issues. Then we will be having talk about longevity, and of course mindfulness. So actually, Dr. Rajendra Barve's name came up when we said anybody says mindfulness. So we know him as a person who is a proficient in mindfulness and is the best person. But sir said we will need an in-person or a half-day session at least. So then we shifted the topic to work-life balance. So we thought, let's start the wellness with work-life balance. So what does it mean between personal and balancing the personal and professional life? And then I read Dr. Barve's quote in our West Zone calendar, Manadarshika, in Marathi. The worn-out sweatshirt of a happy man had the quote. And it was like almost telling how he achieved work-life balance. Because I bear boredom with calm mind, I find challenge in uncertainty. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. I respect every breath I take. And now find your own legion. So everyone has to learn that. So I am really grateful, Dr. Barve, for accepting our invitation for being speaker for this important topic of work-life balance and dealing with burnout. Can I have the
Thanks
slides?
for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me have a few words. Yeah, you express your gratitude. In fact, I want to express my gratitude because I think it's like I'm not a guest. I'm a part of the community, and it's great to be part of this whole psychiatry society and interact with them. And it's like coming home and talking to your own family. So it's nice to be here and talk to all of you. And what I've done is in the webinar that we have, we'll talk about why burnout and work-life balance is so very important in the current times in psychiatry. And we'll take a few case studies and see how it affects them in person. And then we'll proceed about what could be the core strategies with which we can deal with the work-life balance and burnout. And then also draw the inspiration basically from Indian knowledge system, Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, because that is where we are deeply rooted. And all that we talk about meditation, transcendental meditation, or mindfulness based CBT, mindfulness based REBT, mindfulness in DBT, everywhere. It's all about going back to our own roots and find solutions which are deeply rooted in our own soil and kind of bring them about, understand them, and apply it in clinical situations and see how much they benefit our own people, because people can relate to it so beautifully. So that is why I would like to talk about the Indian knowledge system, and wonderful work is going on in the world and also in India, but IIT has taken a lead in kind of resurrecting Indian knowledge system, particularly IIT Kanpur. They have done a wonderful job of doing this. Some of the information that I have drawn is from IITK, and two very important references I have is from Dr. Anand Paranspe, based in Canada, who was a student of Erik Erikson. He written a beautiful book, Psychology in the Indian Tradition, and also a very old book, History of Dharma Shastra. It's impossible for anyone to read it. It's 4 times size of Friedman Kaplan, about 8,000 pages. And he's a PV Kane, Pawak Kane, Bharat Ratna awardee. So the inspiration comes from these people. So let's start with the slides. The first question is, why are we talking about it? Why are we talking as psychiatrists about mental health? Are other people talking about mental health? Are cardiologists talking about mental health? Are they talking about their own hearts? Do neurologists talk about their own brains and mind? Do dermatologists talk about it? I don't know whether they speak or not. But I think as mental health professionals, it's our duty to talk about mental health in our own respect. And when the subject came up, what to talk about, I personally experienced burnout about 15, 20 years back. And I was lucky to have interacted with a professor from NIMHANS. And I was very open to him and said, "This is what I'm feeling, sir." And he said, "Oh, this is common at your age. You will feel it." That's 20 years back. "And why don't you get deep into mindfulness?" "Sir, I'm working on it." He said, "Go deep into it and you will find solutions there." And I said, "Thank you, sir." And then I've been pursuing it. So it is coming with kind of a personal commitment that I have with work-life balance and mental health and burnout. So why particularly Indian psychiatrists? Because our high demand, thin workforce and chronic overload, the demand for a psychiatrist is about 3 or more than 3 per lakh population. We just have 0.75. It's a really very small number. Then 1 in 3, that was Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, said that in India it's 1 in 3 would may end up feeling burnout because of the overload, the kind of the situation that is there in India and the kind of community that we are working. We are especially vulnerable. Next slide. So I think it is very relevant to burnout and work-life balance. So we are perpetually there is always it's like a hanging sword over the head, and sometimes you come to know about other doctors, psychiatrists being attacked. I have been attacked a couple of times, been threatened a couple of times very strongly by psychotic patients and the police. And so it's something like we need to be very careful about it. So violence, threat, low perceived safety of workplaces, I think, and maybe in general hospitals we are kind of, it's a done thing there to be very careful and save yourself. We also have not a very advanced, very sophisticated psychiatry setup. Still, we lack psychiatric nurses, psychiatric social workers, clinical psychologists in our private setup. There are medical legal problems also, and the stigma still persists for patients. And when they talk about patients, when they talk about that is the stigma, I said, don't talk about stigma for a patient. Even we as psychiatrists face some kind of a stigma. Of course, we are working on it. Dr. Nadkarni, myself, Dr. Shrikant Joshi, and so many of us are working so that it's no more a stigma, but kind of should become a status. So stigma, but still persists. And there may not be, I recall in some of the Indian medical or, local medical associations, they once called me to give a talk after lunch. I said, why after lunch? That's not the right time to give a talk on mental health. Said, no, आप तो कुछ मजेदार चीज बोलेंगे तो सब कोई सो नहीं सकेगा. I said, I said to myself, I'm like a buffoon or a clown to make people laugh and keep them awake after lunch. Anyway, but I said, thank you very much. At least you have taken, taken notice. This is about 30 years back, but I cannot forget that. Next slide. Then, this is a very nice Masla burnout inventory, but it talks about three main levels, and they beautifully named it as fuel, connection, and value. Emotional exhaustion is feeling drained, having no emotional energy left for offer patients. After talking to patients at the end of the day, you will feel enough is enough. I mean, I experience it. Enough is enough. No more. You may say we are distancing, we are professionals, this and that, but still the cup gets full. Then there is something called which they have named as depersonalization. Now, depersonalization is not what we see in panic anxiety or in temporal epilepsy, but they have defined depersonalization as dehumanization, where the doctor treats patient as a diagnosis or objects rather than people. So they say this is like a defense mechanism to reduce the emotional pain. And when I read about depersonalization and read the definition, I said this is very much like an alienation, which is a Marxist concept of, you know, there is an alienation between the haves and the have-nots, and that is what keeps people away from from getting close to them. It's like the queen, the French queen said, if they have no bread to eat, give them pastries and cakes to eat. So it's like an alienation. That kind of alienation is is similar to what they talk about, depersonalization. And then there is a very peculiar thing. They talked about reduced personal accomplishment. In spite of doing so much, we don't seem to be getting the kind of result that we would like them to have. And are we really making real difference to patient lives? Now, this is a question which bothers. And when we talk about mental health, I'm just sharing my experience, sharing my own personal feelings. If you're not feeling this way, thank you very much. Great. We would like to learn from you. But when you start looking for answers for mental wellness, and if we are having so many problems like stated here, I thought, where shall we find the answer? Where shall we find the answer? And we have to go back to Upanishad, particularly the Taittiriya Upanishad, which gives so much importance to do's and don'ts and the right thing, the proper things, and how to create wellness in the world. So next slide. They describe it very beautifully. And the first line is Saisha Anandasya Mimamsa Bhavati. This is how you can analyze Ananda. And Ananda has a different meaning. It's a blissful state of mental well-being. It's not Ananda as defined as a joy or pleasure. It is a sense of being blessed, sense of being here and now, and knowing that you are here and now, and being at peace with oneself. So who can create that? And that the shlok says, Yuva syat sadhu yuva adhyayakaha ashishto drajishto balishtaha tasya vittasya iyam sarva prithvi purna syat sa eko manusha anandaha. I'll explain to you. It's very simple. Yuva doesn't mean young in age, not a number, but one who can dream and who can envision and has a growth mindset. Adhyayaka means not just learned, but he wants to learn to be wise. He's emotionally intelligent, he's socially skillful. And three words become very important because they really determine who can create happiness and mental well being. Talk about Ashishto, Dradishto, Balishtaha. Ashishto is one who is hopeful, optimistic, with a positive mindset, who has a hardy personality, a lot of work on hardy personality as people who can really face the hard times in the world as compared to the type A person. So hardy personality, who are resilient, so determined and physically fit and resilient people. This reminds us of positive psychology. And what do they say? Tasya vittasya yam sarva prithvi purnasyat. Now they say talk about vitta. Now vitta is a very important word. They don't talk about earth, which is money, finance. Talk about vitta. Vitta is wealth. And wealth here means knowledge. So one who is knowledgeable, youthful, has a dream, wants to be wiser than what is today. He is hopeful, resilient, has a hardy personality, physical effort, hand over knowledge to a person, and he is the one who is going to create mental well-being. So beautifully, the Mimamsa is so beautiful. Saisha Anandasya Mimamsa Bhavati. So Ananda, joy, delightful, happiness, pleasure, bliss experience when the mind rests. When the mind rests in self-knowledge. Mind rests in self-knowledge. Next. So we are talking about work-life balance and burnout. We must understand, does work-life balance contribute to burnout? Yes, it does count. That means if life is not balanced, we tend to be burned out. And when we are burned out, emotionally drained, no energy left for self-preservation, become kind of dehumanized, become kind of like a robo. We don't want to be, but we feel the burnout, and they're bi-directional. It's like cause and effect seem to be the same. And the family's perception at this point of time may be daddy is not available physically, mentally, and spiritually. Your partner might say, "Yeah, you're not available. You're not available in the sense you don't have enough energy, time, space to spend and talk and be with us." If that doesn't happen, good. We have created a good balance in life. This emotional exhaustion also leads to poor empathic relationship with self and the community, people around, and the family also. So there has been enough research because I referred to that burnout inventory. They have done very good research on this. And that is why we have to work on the work-life balance. Next. Now, whenever I talk about work-life balance, when I walk on the road, street, number of times you see these young girls doing tightrope walking. They come from a really poor socioeconomic strata. They are just walking because their parents or someone is there and they are playing some music, drum, and they are asking them to walk. But she's a huge pole. And whenever I see that the girl walking on the tight rope, I think she's a very skillful girl. And what does she require for the balance? She requires a pole. And this is very peculiar, this is very particular, this is a good analogy for real work-life balance. And what do we have on one side of the pole? Career, work, and the other side is personal life. Now, this is a balancing act between what is called as Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is what you value, chosen value and ethics with which you work in your own profession. This is true for everyone. In your profession, you have values ingrained in the practice, clinical practice, and also prayers. That means what you really love, relationships. You want to be admired. You want to have sense of accomplishment, and you need to balance this and walk the tightrope. Yes, it is indeed a tightrope walking that we are doing day in and day out. And why does this girl move? This girl moves because there is a kind of music. So we keep ourselves in a state of mind where this music, the rhythm, the lyre, the tempo keeps us going. And there is one interesting story about this also. It's about story about a story about two donkeys when they meet. They are two donkeys meet at a place where they are कूड़ा कचरा रखते हैं वहां पर. तो एक डोंकी दूसरी को पूछता है कि यार तू बड़ा मस्त लग रहा है. मैं तो यहाँ वहाँ घूमता हूँ. आई एम अ फ्री. You seem to be, I see a rope tied around your neck, and I'm free bird. I can move anywhere, I can eat anywhere. So the other donkey says, but you know what? I'm employed. He said, what is that? I said, work with a dombari, this play, those who do this tightrope walking. I work with a dombari. So, he pays me, he gives me food, so I don't have to hunt around. And very important thing of being an employee, नौकरी करने का सबसे ज्यादा फायदा क्या होता है पता है आपको? उसने बोला नहीं पता, मैं तो नौकरी नहीं करता। तो इसने बोला पता है, मैं जब वहां खड़ा रहता हूँ और वो उसकी लड़की जब टाइट रोप वॉक करती है ना, तो ये जोर से चिल्लाता है, देख तू गिरेगी ना तो ये गधे से तुम्हारी शादी करूंगा। तुम मुझे तो प्रमोशन का चांस है, कभी ना कभी तो लड़की गिरेगी और कभी ना तो कभी तो मेरी शादी हो जाएगी। सो व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग, यू आर एन एम्प्लॉय, we don't want to be like that other donkey who is waiting for the promotion. So this tightrope walking is Shreyas and Preyas. Next, we shift to the case studies. Dr. Sneha, I've deliberately taken a female psychiatrist because I see a lot of them around. There is cognitive overload. Cognitive overload. It's constantly challenged. And we need to have only snapshot psychiatry. That we just have to look and then decide not to make a wrong diagnosis, not to miss critical clinical cues, and make a prescription error. So that's a cognitive overload, because you see, you manage more than 40 patients in a day. And there is the people who are high paying urban clients often view mental health as a service through service industry. They are demanding and complete cure for chronic conditions. Everyone who is practicing in psychiatry, someone will come and say, ये लड़की है और लड़का है chronic schizophrenia, एकदम ठीक करवा दो, पैसे का कोई बात ही नहीं है। I recollect many years back, somebody had come, said, ये लड़का सुनता नहीं है, आप अभी आ जाओ रात को। I said, no, I'm not coming. मैं मेरी Mercedes भेज देता हूँ। I said, fine, but you have not bought my time. I can talk to you in my clinic. Take an appointment. So they have this sense of being on demand, we being on demand. And also we have a family issues. She's 42, she has sandwich generation, growing Gen Zs and aging parents. And when we were young, we are supposed to be obedient to your parents. And when at this age, we are supposed to be obedient to your children. So it's a sandwich generation which will have lot of double burden. Next. So this is Sneha's story. Next. So she has compassion fatigue and systemic futility. I'm working hard. Dr. Jadhav works in a rehab center and he has to see revolving door syndrome all the time. People coming and going out. They're paying well, but it's a relapse remit cycle. And there is burden constantly of reluctant patients and frustrated caregivers. The real burden is that there is always heavy residue of emotional exhaustion, because constantly you are exposed to raw trauma in the families of alcoholic families. Their wives, their partners come, their children come and cry, financial ruin, domestic violence constantly going on. It's perpetually in a crisis mode. And there is always a brown boundary erosion. Rehab setting, the lines between doctor, counseling, social workers often are blurred. You have to all in one. नहीं डॉक्टर साहब आप ही बता दो, वो लड़की है लेकिन आप ही बता दो. So it's exaggerated sense of responsibility. Those who want to take the responsibility, the always exaggerated sense of responsibility, and there is little downtime, personal downtime. Next. So maybe some of you can, vibe with this. Dr. Rao is HOD in a general hospital, so he has a role ambiguity, and Peter principle is a very interesting. I worked in organizations because promotion rewards past performance, and you get into a new role for which you require different skills. And as doctors, clinicians, we may not be perfectly equipped with the skills of manage. You can manage patients, but we may not be able to manage 30 odd people working under us, resident doctors, staff, interns, the Maushi, Aya, and everyone who is part of the system. And everybody expects something more than this. And the weight of supervision clinical work, supervisory work, and then feeling that professional obsession. I need to be up to date because I have students, I have to give thesis, I have to interact with them. All this can be fun, this can be a great time, but can also be an emotional drain. We are talking about emotional drain. The other side of the coin is, of course, we are here and we are enjoying it. But how long? I mean, it can be a drain. Next. Dr. Swapna, again, a resident psychiatrist. You come across these residents. I see resident psychiatrists coming to me in private practice talking about it, or other branches too, because there's usually all this 25, 21 onwards, or even before that, 14, 15 years, they always come and talk about breakup. And her breakup is because she really cannot handle long-term relationship. And there is emotional burden because Swapna is a very is a patient is a psychiatrist who listens and has really not learned to distance herself. So she kind of gets emotional burden of the stories that she listens. And where does she bring? There's always conflicting situation with the colleagues. This may not be because of the breakup, and first moment, this is a real case, when she came and said, psychiatry has been my lifelong passion and my first choice. And here I am in the second year, I would give up. I can't handle it. So she has lost not work-life balance, but she has lost life-career imbalance. So that is Swapna's story. Now let's shift to the next one and talk about what are the core strategies that we can work on this. Next slide, please. Yeah, even we can immediately talk about it. It's true for everyone that cognitive restructuring with CBT, of course, is very important. And to talk to psychologists and psychiatrists who may be well versed with cognitive behavior therapy and give them behavior therapy, cognitive behavior therapy is really a challenge. Very interesting work that we need to do. So we need to make her understand that breakup does not define career passion. Psychiatry remains her choice despite current pain because she's in love with herself. She's passionate about working. Then empathy is a strength, not a word, not a weight. So we need to rebuild support within our own community. And we need to draw some non-negotiable boundaries, like patient story is theirs, not mine. But it's so easy to identify with pain is expressed, sadness is expressed with what is heard day in and day out. Next. So conclusion is emotional burnout takes toll of personal and family life. Work-life balance and burnout is a bi-directional loop. A reinforcing cycle with must break early. And the core strategies, I was introduced as a mindfulness teacher, and I can't get away from mindfulness, and nobody can get away from mindfulness. We need to choose our attitude. We'll talk about a little about this. Choose our attitude towards work. Focus on relaxed, calm efficiency. And of course, most important skill is mindfulness, the present moment, which helps to define the attitude towards work, which helps to create that calm efficiency, and we need to create that congenial workplace, and we need to be present moment oriented because all the time the patients and families are either pushing you in the past or in the future, always talking about what happened in the past and always talking about what might happen in the future. So constantly they are like a simple harmonic motion in the past and the present, past and the future, and need to be in the present moment and not get swayed by them, no, by answering their questions. But we need to be in present moment because the irritation that we get is at the present moment. Next, a few more details about the core strategies. Now, choose your attitude towards work. Use cognitive alignment to reduce helplessness and boredom. Boredom is a major cause of, which is major result of burnout and work-life imbalance. And re-anchor in the purpose. It's a beautiful shlok from Mandukya Upanishad. which so beautifully it is true for all professionals. I have not written it down, but I will say it because I know it very well. यदेव करोति विद्याया श्रद्धाया उपनिषदा तदैव भवति वीर्यवत्तरम. If you want to reach excel, you want to reach be excellent, you need to have three things. Number one, vidya, knowledge. We need to be knowledgeable, the best of the best knowledge. Yadeva kriti shraddhaya. That means you have complete conviction about what you're doing. And thirdly, very important, like Swapna, she had a purpose. She had found a purpose, a passionate purposefulness in her life. So when she was talking to me, I recited this shloka and said, look, this is the real meaning of Upanishad, that you sit with a teacher, with an acharya or a guru, and sit and talk, introspect and define what is your value system. Why are you so passionate about it? Because that's an anchor around which there's an anchor, and it gives you purpose in life. So if you going away from that purpose, that means you'll feel bored. And then, of course, you may be excellent in your own commitment and in your own purpose, but you need to define good enough, which is can be excellent for the patient. And we need to create a non-negotiable, sleep, exercise, something that I'm not going to miss. I'm not been missing my exercise for the last so many years. And that has kept me with some smile on my face. You, at the end of the day, ask simple questions. What have I accomplished today? It's like lie down in the bed and close eyes, and I try to recall what are the three things that I did today, which could which brought smile to my face and brought smile to my clients. And often I say, when they talk and I say, tell them something, I usually ask them to breathe with me. We just have a short, slow breathing session with them. And at the end of it, their anxiety is a bit less, and say, now your face looks much better. When I see that, they have a faint smile on their face, and I said, that's a reward that I got from you, that you have a gentle, faint smile on your face. Next. And calm efficiency. Now, what is calm efficiency? Very, very important. Again, we go back to, I guess, this is a shlok from Bhagavad Gita. I'll keep on quoting there. Beautiful shlok, which talks about not sukha, talks about a prasad, a tranquil, calm, efficient state of mind. A calm, efficient state of mind, not a sukhi state of mind. Actually, the word sukh, as we see in Marathi, or in the Prakrit or in the Maharashtra or Hindavi language, say sukh matlab kya hai? Sukhi hona chahta hu main. What really means in Sanskrit, sukha, is what? Kha, kha. Kha means space. Kha means avakash or akasha. Su means good. So when your space, your mind space is filled with good things, you call it sukha. And mind space is not full of good things, something evil, something bad, something unpleasant, it's called dukkha. So Krishna says, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhihi paryavatishthate. So beautiful. I'll spend a minute on that. He says, prasadi sarva dukkha. This state of mind, this calm, efficient state of mind, has the power to remove all the dukkha, all the du from your avkash, from your mental avkash, from your mental space. उसको निकाल सकती है. And prasanna chetaso. Chetaso, he says chetaso, not manaso. Prasanna manaso, no. Chetas is the chitta is almost equivalent to unconscious mind. So it's a deeply rooted prasanna state, which is firm, clear, and efficient. Yashu buddhi parivatisthate. Prasanna chetaso, he, that means definitely. Ashu means quickly. Buddhi, your cognition, your prefrontal cortex is not overloaded with, it's not going through emotional hijack, not being a prey to limbic system. and your brain, your cognitive functions are paryavatishthate. They are very firm, they are very clear. The dukkha or the aprasannata does not overrule. So you become calm and you are efficient because you are doing a single task, simply focused on one thing at a time. No WhatsApp. No, what I'm giving you all this is something that you can, perhaps I've been using all these strategies for my clients. You may be of course, using, but I've just organized them in a particular way. And of course, we can make use of the, latest AI tools, technology templates, and that calm efficiency will improve care and stamina. Next. So what are the tools that we can use? So very short mindful exercise, which we'll talk about, 60 to 90-second downshift. Because body is in a state of high arousal. We may or may not know, but we are in a high arousal state when we take that chair because the heart rate may be slightly high and you are run, run, run. Oh God, so many patients, quick, 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 quick. And if you take a tiny break, this will foster the long run, not run, run, run. And the brain fog I experienced this brain fog post-COVID state. It's like feeling confused. Now I realized that the micro episodes of brain fog did happen during my clinical practice. To remain focused and make less mistakes. So shifting the body to a lower gear, allowing to cool down and not burn out. Cool down, downshift. 30 to 60 seconds signal to your brain, it's safe and we are in control. So micro meditation, micro level. So in fact, I always talk about, I make a joke of the whole mindfulness has been McDonaldized, as they say. McDonaldized. That means you can just take 3 long deep breaths and you are, mindful. Yeah, it walks away, runs away from the basic Buddhist tenet of mindfulness and sammasati, but it has some sense because we really need to use that micro meditation. And the word I really like is clear the cache from the brain because they just keep on occupying the brain and can't allow to brain to function effectively. Next. Mindfulness presence, of course, one role at a time. And what really mindfulness does, it completely gives you focus. The anterior cingulate gyrus really is sharpened, so you have much better focus and you stop multitasking, though you may be multi-skilling. So this 10th breath is that McDonaldization, but it can be very useful. What I have found also, gentle music playing in the background. Most of us use gentle music in the background, feel relaxed. Maybe some old Hindi songs or some whatever I use. I don't know whether you have used Anand Shankar, Ravi Shankar's younger brother, Anand Shankar's music. It's very peppy, it's very inspiring, very nice. It just plays and you just feel calm yet excited. And 10 minutes body scan for sleep protection. Body scan is, kaya anupashyana is a very important part of mindfulness. And you know what I'm doing? I'm taking you to mindfulnessation slowly so that you'll say, ha, ye pehle kabhi suna hai. Next. And we have to choose your outcome. We need to be process oriented. Then okay. Shift your outcome control to process because we are working on the process, not the outcome, about which we'll talk a little later. And that is 3 line self-reflection, like I said, and boundaries between effort and outcome. Very, very important. Use stop technique and teach the stop technique, beautiful stop technique. Next. So we'll talk a little about stop technique. Yeah, I think that's okay. Congenial workplace, yeah, doing is like creating that sense of place that you look forward to being with the department, look forward to the place you work. This is true for not just psychiatrists, for everyone. And being the leader of the workplace, you need to have cooperative people, not obedient people. Next. But of course, I think this is very important that we need to debrief. Now I'm going back to the IKS, which gave me a very strong footing in understanding work-life balance. And you must have heard about Purushartha. धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाणाम यह पंथाः पुण्यनंदन पुरुषार्थो यतः प्रोक्तः स धर्म इति कीर्त्यते. The first thing is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Now next one, how I describe it. Dharma is the shreyas, is the value system. And moksha is not liberation, the final liberation, not mukti, but being liberated from the attachment, being process oriented rather than the outcome oriented. So how I teach Purushartha when I take classes on Bharatiya Jnana Parampara is look at dharma and moksha as the brackets. Between these two, that is dharma and moksha, is concentrated the artha and the kama. Artha is very important because that gives you artha actually means getting something which you don't have. That means artharjana. Getting money, getting value for your money, working for the money, working so that you have enough, you can do what you want to do. You create financial stability, you develop your career goals, your productive habits. And dharma is all about asking yourself questions like what relationship really mean to me? What is family? What actions I need to take which will not create guilt or regret? And is my life aligned with these my chosen values? So this is the Shreyas and the Preyas next. The two in the middle are the Preyas. Calm, of course, is healthy, emotional, full. Its calm is usually seen as only a sexual. It's like the word libido is wrongly translated into sex. Kama is desire. So identify desire and emotional needs, separating need from a want. What brings me genuine joy? Where do desires become escape? Am I escaping into a desire? What are my own personal emotional needs unmet? And if I know the difference between need, which is needs to be fulfilled, and desire, because wants have no end, but needs can be satisfied. A glass of water will fulfill the need, but not say 650 ml of beer. And the fourth pillar is moksha, is inner freedom and peace. Moksha is usually misinterpreted as liberating. ये जन्म मरणाचा एकदम you get out of this system of life and death. No, it's being inner freedom and peace. So calmness, peace of mind. That is possible when you have this mental noise, chatterbox going on all the time in the mind because we are overthinking, ego-based, we tend to become self-centered, only attachment to outcomes, fear-driven decisions. That is not moksha. It keeps on tied down to things. Next. So work-life balance versus samanvaya. So it describes, I mean, it's all there. I mean, we just didn't know. We just threw meditation and mindfulness out of it. But if you've studied Purushartha, you will understand. I understood that it is samanvaya, harmonizing goals. The goals which are not contradictory to each other. They don't create cognitive dissonance, which will push us to escape. So we need to have a samanvaya, understanding, perfect balance. Productivity, karma with buddhi, kama with the karma and buddhi. My knowledge and my work. How are they interconnected? Mindless work always leads to exhaustion, and action must be guided by wisdom. So that is very important. That is what gives rise to the productivity and well-being versus ananda. True well-being is inner fullness and self-knowledge, not just pleasure. Absence of meaning leads to emotional fatigue. So sense of ananda, like I described, ananda also is a special ananda. Nanda is to realize, to be. It doesn't mean pleasure only. So Indian knowledge system gives a beautiful description of, the scriptures really describe things very beautifully what they are. And we just have to get, they're scriptures. They are not religious. Some of them may be religious, but you have to draw the knowledge out of them and not just say that, not just learn by heart, but understand them, what they truly mean. I have been reading India. There are other knowledge systems in the world. Of course, Greco-Roman are knowledge systems. We have drawn a lot from them. Mens in sense corpora. Healthy mind and healthy body. Of course, Greek scripture, knowledge, Greek knowledge system from which science has evolved. This is something more than just knowledge, which is scientific, knowledge of self. Next, there's one more way to understand the body, which is again goes back to Taittiriya Upanishad, of course, which talks about Pancha Kosha. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's Annamaya Kosha. What you see, this is the pasta and pizza. Yeah, pasta and pizza is what makes the body. Pranamaya Kosha, which is the energy, the Vayu, the Vayu that is circulating all over the body. Manomaya Kosha is the kosha, the intelligence. They're not layers. It's not like you open the dead body and you see fascia. No, it's a notional. It's only a metaphorical way of understanding human body and human life. So Manomoya Kosha, this is the layer which is about emotions. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is about what? It's about cognition. It's about cognition. And the innermost is the Anandamaya Kosha. There's a blissful state. It's like you need to penetrate, go deep down and resurrect the Annamaya Kosha. Go back to the Annamaya Kosha. And that means you require to be very mindful of what you eat, how you work on your energy, how you regulate your emotions, how you regulate your cognitions. When all is regulated, you reach the blissful state, which is described as a Pancha Kosha. And for every kosha, there is a different way. Next, there's different way of freeing oneself. Like Annamaya, physical body is food based. So that is why Ayurveda talks a lot about Triguna and Tridosha. So it talks about what you eat makes you what you are. So much talk about nutrition. It's all about Annamaya Kosha, vital energy. Then the first thing that I when I see my patient, I'm talking about myself. Everybody must be doing it. Here I'm an opportunity to talk about myself. I just say that you don't seem to be breathing well, dear. Take a long deep breath and exhale slowly. That will help you. That means I'm managing his energy, which is vital. Manomaya Kosh is mind and emotions. Are you aware how your emotions are playing havoc in your own mind? Vijnanamaya Kosh is intellect and discernment. The do's and don'ts and decide what I really want, like the value-based system. And the innermost sheath is the blissful sheath, closest to Atman. Is the true nature of being. That's the truth which deeply inside us, which becomes the Satchita Ananda. Next. It's a beautiful story and they have given, for each one, ahara, diet, vishranti, of course, very important, vihara, movement, and asana, which is so beautifully described in Yogasana. So Annamaya Kosha, how do you manage your Annamaya Kosha? Is with diet, good rest, good movement, and how you sit. Pranamaya Kosha is all about pranayama, how you regulate your breath. It's just not anulom vilom, this or that, but just regulating your breath. Manomaya Kosh is through dhyana, meditation, and bhavana. That means bhavana, of course, is in where I learned my mindfulness. Bhavana means meditation. So the remedy is how you create the meditative state in your mind. And a very important thing is that it's not just meditation. You can't be 24/7 meditating, but they have a very beautiful way of describing meditation as a meditative mood. If you are really, if you're really interested, there are two kinds of icons of Buddha. One is Buddha himself. He's a very tranquil smile. But there are several others. Like, give the best example is the Padmapani, which is there in Ajanta, he's in a meditative state. He's all wearing all the jewelry in the world, but he's in a meditative state. He's going to meditate. So he's already introspective, meditative state. That meditative state is very close to mindfulness. That meditative state is aware of himself. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is, I mean, the Manomaya Kosha is all about this meditative state of being aware of the bhavana. And Vijnanamaya Kosha is, of course, Swadhyaya. That means you introspect and understand yourself, self-inquiry, and Sahaya Samvada. That means you need to talk with people. Now, Anandamaya Kosha, of course, is manifestation of emptiness and depersonalization, and remedies gratitude and acceptance. When it is not there, it becomes empty and depersonalized. Being human, gratitude and acceptance. Sustained stress blocks this natural movement. It's like we are constantly moving from the Annamaya Kosha to Anandamaya Kosha. And we need not, and all the stress hinders the progress of everyone. So we can't really reach the level of self-knowledge and Ananda state. You might say, बरवे तो एकदम एकदम प्रवचनकार बन गया. No, because it's my passion. Next. And Bhagavad Gita, of course, is a very important. It talks about four things: Nishkama karma, samatva, equanimity, yoga karma sukaushalam, and abhyasa and vairagya. Let's quickly go through these four shlokas which talk about it, and then we'll end it. Next one. So it talks about karmani. This is the most misunderstood shloka in Bhagavad Gita, shloka 47 is second chapter. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhu nate sangostu akarmani. That means very clear. He says that you be process oriented, not be outcome oriented. Focus what the best you can do, and not because the final outcome is multifactorial in origin. There's so many things happening in the world which may push you away from the result that you want. So just be focused on what you can do. And when you stop worrying about the fruit, you stop leaking mental energy, because it's what most of us are doing. All your energy goes back into the task, making you more skilled in action. So you become a kushala. And then samatva, sukha dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avvapsasi. It's very clear about samatva, because you need to be very balanced. Because ये तो आना जाना है, सुख दुख तो आना जाना है, ये तो प्यार का नगमा है, आनी जानी मौजों की रवानी है. This come and go, come and go. So you need to be very, very, very clear about where you stand, and then just not become, a karmani, but yuddhaya, you just be ready to fight, because you are fighting because you know what you're doing, and this will not give rise to any wrong feeling. Next. And yoga karmasu kaushalam. So you say, buddhir yukto jahat yah ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So being skillful is very important, and skill can be developed only when you practice again and again. So because you are so paralyzed by the result that you don't develop the right kind of skill. It's just not technical talent. It's being buddhi yukto. Be yukta with it. This means be clear about the wisdom. And of course, abhyasa and vairagya, which talks about asamshayam mahabaho manodur nirgraham chalam. Abhyasenu to kaunteya vairagya. That sense of detachment is very important. And abhyasa means to doing it again and again, so that you are very focused. So so being aware that you're doing this, I'm doing this. So all these, I just glanced over the Purushartha, the next Purushartha, the Panchakosha, and the Gita's four shloka about this skillful work and yoga karma kaushalam. So we need to create a balance. Earth dominance, maybe overwork, again, imbalance. Check values, dharma guided boundaries. Kosha imbalance about exhaustion. Prana manasa regulation, pranayama cognitive regulation. Lack of moksha, clinging to pleasure, escaping into pleasure. Detachment and mindfulness. And mindfulness is, this is, I believe, maybe Gita may not be seen as a secular document, but Purushartha is completely secular, even mindfulness is completely secular. So, action without obsession will remove the frustration, and confusion can go away with the kind of equanimity that we are looking at. Next. I think we are done. So it's 9 o'clock, 9:05, and it's a very interesting thing. It's like a fridge magnet story. Work-life balance, work-life balance. Can we make it LBW? That is life before work. That's the real solution. So take wickets of the stress and BLBW, life before work. And I think that would be this is what like to end with, saying that it's not WLB, it's LBW. Thank you very much. If there are some questions, I would like to answer.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening talk. We have had almost a full house here. Uh, I guess no one has posted any questions. If anyone wants to ask any question, please raise your hands. Meanwhile, I would request the seniors here, Mishra sir, Nagapurkar sir, Dhable madam,
Yeah,
uh,
very senior people.
yes, Hegde sir, please, if you all would want to add any comments till maybe someone post a question, I'm requesting the seniors. Would you all like to comment?
Dr.
Mishra sir?
Mishra, sir, I would like to hear from you.
Okay, I feel no, so far no one has asked any question.
Okay.
Uh, so I would like to ask, like,
Okay.
say more the vulnerable population. Say when we are looking at youngsters in psychiatry.
Yeah,
And
yes.
whenever I type it, sir,
Yes, so
Small
please go
sound.
ahead.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
throat. It was again all the bouts
Voice is
aspect you
breaking,
have
but
been elucidated in the thing.
So your voice
Am I
is breaking.
no?
maybe, sir, you can write a comment on
Taking
the
there's
chat.
an internet problem. I'll stop the video. I'll stop the video, then I'll speak. I think
Okay,
it will be
okay,
better.
okay. Yeah, that will be better.
So,
Okay.
like when you are discussing about the burnout in all the medical professional, we have seen burnout more so considered burnout in among the anesthesiology and the other like clinical. We have seen much more aspect of that.
I didn't get it, sir.
Sir is saying the burnout is more in the clinical departments.
Yes. No doubt. Anywhere, they say, anywhere there is a personal interaction, there is going to be burnout. Because if you see the police force is extremely burned out. All their escapist attitude that you see is because of an imbalance in the family and no clear understanding of what they're doing. So, like doctors, police force, I see so many of them and very senior police officers, एकदम कोई हवालदार से लेके सबको तो ये तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. So anywhere we have an interaction, even bus conductors always have talk, चला पुढे, छुट्टी दिया. So anyone who has all the time person to person interaction will have burnout because it's dealing with emotions, right, left, and center, and also has no knowledge about how to deal with your own. So that's why they seem to be angry, upset, go on the tangent.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
go ahead.
Actually,
Yes, sir.
um, I want to ask Rajendra,
Yeah,
Do you think it's more among the psychiatrists? This burnout is more in psychiatrists as
I
compared to other
believe
clinical
so. I believe
branches?
so. I believe
Because
so.
emotionally you get involved with them.
Yeah.
But when I joined, Dr. Pradhan was a senior psychiatrist, and he told me,
Okay.
if you are with the patient, get involved with the patient. But
Yeah.
once you are out or he is out, forget about patient. Then only
Yeah.
you will be
Very
able
true.
to.
Yeah. Otherwise, not
Otherwise,
possible.
all psychiatrists, everybody says psychiatrists are mad. They become mad. And other things, do you think in women it is more
Yeah,
burnout?
everywhere, all the work-life balance problems, burnout is much more in women, but it's unexpressed, not put it
Yeah,
out because it's all duty bound. तुला तर करायलाच पाहिजे, तू तो IAS, IAS. So this is huge
correct.
burden. More so that's why I taken two cases, Sneha and
Yeah, you are taken
Swapna.
mainly ladies only.
Yeah, yeah, because I think
That's right.
they bear the burden a lot and
Because they
nowhere
have
to
to,
express. Yeah.
means the responsibility is more on them for children, for cooking, for everything. Whether servants come, doesn't come, it doesn't make difference to male.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're multitasking,
Multitasking.
multi-skilling,
Yeah.
everything. All women are, my heart goes to them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. I would like to invite Dr. Panse, our chairperson, to convey her views.
I think thank you, Maithili. I think it was such a meditative session, sir, that that's why there are no questions. So
Okay.
but yeah, it was really nice, and we got involved in what you were talking about. And as we all know, psychiatry actually began as a branch of philosophy 200 years back,
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
brought us back to the philosophy with the Indian knowledge
Yeah,
added to it, and making it more contextual with all the examples. So that was really useful. I think as seniors, we appreciate more than the students. I was expecting that, okay, PGs can join. You also gave an example of second year resident for that. But so I felt this was very relevant and a wonderful start for
thank you.
self care of doctors themselves. So I think the aim of our wellness committee was achieved to an extent with a good start. So, okay. So, any
Thank you.
seniors also, if anybody wants to add to comments or anything, or share their views, the platform is open before. Thank you, sir. Dr. Rakesh, yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, madam.
Yes.
Uh, Nothing in no questions, madam. But I just want comment and compliment Barve sir. Uh, since COVID, sir introduced mindfulness technique to the doctors. Since then, I am following at least not regularly, but whenever I am stressed and that time I follow mindfulness technique, and this has helped lot to me, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rakesh is a BJMC alumni, our
Okay.
student, and
Okay.
he's so he is practicing in a
Taluka place, madam.
Oh,
yes,
Gadinglas,
great.
Gadinglas.
Very good. Very
Gardinglas,
good.
yes,
Yeah,
and
I've
he
been
is
to
very well.
it's a very cute, nice village in Gadinglas, I know. Been there.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Rajendra,
Ah, yes, sir.
this has been a very beautiful presentation. What I feel is this is a very, very important topic and cannot be just brushed away with one talk. I think there should be more talks. And in our early days, there used to be articles in the journals on residence syndrome, psychiatry resident syndrome. As you have all rightly pointed out, you need to prepare the resident how to uh, what is how should their attitude be towards psychiatry and towards themselves, the self-awareness.
Yes.
and how they should deal with the patient. And as you rightly said, as Madam Dhavle was, how to keep the patient official work within the office and play different roles that we have. It's like a drama. So this empathy and how to change the roles, this skill is also very, very important. And that's why I think more of such talks or workshops will be required.
I agree with you. So, moment
Yeah.
Dr. Maithili talked, I said, thank you very much for
So this
bringing it to
is just a beginning,
yeah.
and I think it should be more personalized rather
Yeah.
than now in between. I lost contact. I don't know whether everybody lost contact with the. There was technology problem.
Maybe this will be, uploaded on YouTube channel or
Yes, sir,
something. I think so.
definitely.
Okay.
It will be there
Yeah.
on the West Zone branch YouTube channel, and
Great.
it's going to be an ongoing process. So this is
Thank
just
you.
the first start. And
Okay.
Hegde sir, now that you are part of the wellness committee, we will have more such programs definitely.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure, sure.
yes.
Dr.
Anyone else, please?
Dr.
Yeah.
Hegde will
Good
give us,
evening.
the Goan essence of Sushegad.
Good
Yes,
evening,
Dr.
Dr. Smita.
Ranjan.
Am I audible? May I say
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I am Dr. Ranjan Bhattacharya from East Zone. So
Okay.
I have been an
Welcome,
avid
sir.
follower of Dr. Rajendra Bharve sir for over the years. We've been a very good friends in Facebook.
Yep.
I had been listening the webinar thoroughly. Yes, it's right that the things have changed altogether since COVID. Even just in the last week, we have lost one principal and one dean, both the ladies and who have suffered from the interstitial lung disease, a long COVID phenomenon, and there are lots of consequences. Sir has rightly quoted from spirituality to the neurobiology to the neuroscience, we have to integrate. That is called the holistic approach. So the sir has been always very, very nice in his approach. And as straightly quoted from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that Sarva Samavasta Shukhinaya Sarva Santi Niramaya Sarva Bhadranti Pashyantu Ma Vidvishavahai. The Shanti mantra. We all need that inner peace. This inner peace can be achieved by various methods, and there are the other ways of living. We are all very busy. We all have two cell phone, three SIM cards. There are no time whatsoever for to care the person. The caring the carers are extremely important. The first article that we published, that the impact of COVID on doctors in the Indian Journal of Psychiatry in the issue 2020, just after the COVID, within 3 or 4 months, and we had that questionnaire. So thereafter, lots of research activities had gone through
Yeah.
the COVID and other challenging scenario. But
Yes,
this
sir.
session is extremely important, and I congratulate the Indian Psychiatric Society West Zone State Branch for bringing this very important highlighted issue to here. And last one, I'd like to mention that since I am also a part of the Indian Medical Association, I am the editor of the GIMA. So there are D4D approach previously, the doctor for doctors. So doctors will care for the doctors. Our health is being completely neglected, and we are
Yep.
very, very poor prescription followers. So this sort of approach is extremely important. And again, congratulate from the bottom of my heart to Dr. Smita and the entire team of the
Yes.
IPS West Zone. And thank you so much, Rajendra sir. See you again.
Yes, thank you so much for your valuable comments. Yes,
Thank you, Dr. Ranjan.
you want to say
Ranjan
something?
Da, as I call you.
So kindly unmute, sir, and you can speak. Dr. Brahmanan. You're not audible, sir. Dr. Brahmanan, you need to unmute yourself. Sorry, unable to hear.
Okay.
Okay. I think, yeah, everyone has lot of opinions, and this is a topic for close to everyone's heart. I can see Dr. Nimesh Desai from Delhi also, if you want to some final comments. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, Smita, how are you?
I'm good, sir. So nice to see you on this platform.
After Jalandhar.
Yes, sir. So before ANSIPS, you
I
have joined
know.
our wellness committee seminar. So thank you.
Rajan, I don't know if you remember, you were my senior in the West Zone when I was doing my PG in Ahmedabad. 35 years almost down the road.
Yes,
Will
of
you
course,
agree
sir.
will you agree to be my guru?
Oh, God.
Sir, he is everyone's guru.
God.
I really want to ask you to be my guru. This was, as Ranjan said in the chat, mesmerizing. I mean,
So,
you are, for those of you who don't belong to Rajan, Parvez, and my generation, I can tell you, in our PG days, Rajan had the beginnings of what he has demonstrated today. As young people in the mid 20s, he was already on that line. Rajan,
thank you, sir.
thank you, Smita and Hegde sir and Pallavi and everyone. I'm
I'm
glad
very,
I could join. There are so many things, but briefly, two things that you mentioned that I want to highlight: mindfulness. See, like turmeric, it's an Indian concept gone to the West and repackaged and given to us. You know, the second is this whole happiness index. I'm so glad you mentioned Sukha. Contentment, Sukh, Shanti are the goals of life in our philosophy and not necessarily happiness. The World Bank and IMF are taking us for a ride, by this happiness index. But Rajan,
yeah.
I'll get your contact details. I'm so unhappy we lost contact. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, everyone in Vezo.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thank
sir.
you, sir.
I'm feeling
So,
very grateful to all seniors who came and heard, and an opportunity. I feel so humbled by their presence.
And Hemangi ma'am is here.
Yeah.
Remember? So wonderful.
yes.
Hello.
I think we
Can,
will be having more sessions with Barve, sir. With the
yeah.
wellness thing, we need people, and he is the guru of mindfulness, and we are planning something on mindfulness. So we will be
Yeah.
in touch, and you should. We will let you know. We are WhatsApp is for that. Yes. Anyone else? Last comments?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Now you're
Hello.
audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Now, if Dr. Rajan knows me, we appeared together in JJ Hospital along with Dr. Rajan Hegde for
Oh,
our MD examination.
Okay.
So during that time, there was nothing like mindlessness and mindfulness. The moment,
Okay.
so we had to only committing to memory and vomiting on paper. So that was our concept of appearing for examination. And then we would be after the main examiner, what would be the essay type and all that.
I know.
And it was not a cakewalk. So 13 students to
Yeah.
appear, and then by the time evening, only 6 pass.
I know.
So there was a tug of war between the municipality hospitals and the government hospitals. So that I don't want to dig the grave there. But I think Dr. Barve must have gone through all those
Yes, yes.
pain. Now, coming to the topic in particular,
Yeah.
now in Goa, we have got a different scenario here.
Okay.
The people want happiness not by the natural means. They want happiness by having oxytocin or all the hormones. They are available in and out. So it is almost become a drug hub. So the happiness is sold not in the
Yeah.
malls, but it is on the beaches, in the clubs, in the nightlife. And I think everybody is well aware of what is going on.
I know. So,
So it is not only burning, but it is beyond burning and like RIP. Huh? So now, with the introduction of Gen Z world, we are going through a different world, and not the one we saw in 1982 when he appeared for MD examination.
oh, yeah.
So it was completely different world.
Yeah,
And
really.
now the therapy has changed, the treatment has changed, and then now our treatment itself, I pity joining psychiatry because we are creating a new world of lifestyle diseases by this newer antidepressant, by newer antipsychotic, and at the end of the day, the basic research in the field dies its own death.
I know,
So
sir.
because so that is why we should have a lot of lectures or discourses on this area.
Yes, sir.
And
We will keep.
instead of copying the Western world, we have got so much of cultural heritage, and we are actually the main genius people, genius psychiatrists in India. So we have to lead the world rather than world leading us. I think the lecture of this type will go a long way in opening our eyebrows and our gray matter also. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Raja.
I'm
much.
humbled. I'm grateful.
So,
Rajan, God bless you. God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Really.
so though this was conducted by West Zone session, I think I am happy to see people from
Yeah.
Delhi, East, Goa, and everywhere. And that's thanks to Bove, sir. So thank you so much for being
Yes, sir.
here and all the seniors for participating in the discussion. We will continue the work of the wellness subcommittee and keep coming back with more such wonderful, hopefully wonderful sessions for our own wellness.
It's
So
good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
thank you all
ma'am.
for joining. Thank you so much and wishing you all a very good evening. Thank you.
Bye
Just
bye.
I would
And
also like
I request Maithili to do the
Yeah,
formal vote of
mentally.
thanks.
yes. Yes, I would like to thank our president and secretary for giving us our subcommittee the opportunity. This has been our first meeting and the second webinar in the current tenure of West Zone. So I'm so glad that there was such a big turnout. So I would like to thank especially our speaker, Dr. Barve, uh, who has given us an excellent lecture. I would also like to thank our chairperson, Dr. Panse, who has been so proactive and it made it really wonderful. And of course, I would like to thank our IT team who has been helping us with everything. And I would really like to thank the